Army never throws the ball, but they probably should. Open up the season.
Ridiculous.
Louisiana Monroe on September 2nd. Only 90 minutes away from the studio.
A little bit. Them gloves not.
Oh, come on.
No, Greg, you
stop. Red Sox down 1 in the ninth. Men on first and second. There's only one out. Deep fly ball. Cool. Maybe tag up. Go halfway. Nope. Reese McGuire is past third for some reason. It's a double play, and now the game is over.
Oh, no.
Red Sox lose all three to the Blue Jays.
What's the third base? Let's see, third base coach.
Go back.
What are you trying to tell him?
You go back wrong way. Oh, my gosh. Now 5 games back in the wild card.
That looks like Little League.
Wow.
The way
Wonderful. Speaking of Red Sox, let's check in on former Red Sox Mookie Betts. He's not good. What the heck?
You're going to get a
He is still good? Oh, home run number 30? Wow. Probably should have signed for a long-term contract considering one of the richest teams in all baseball. Padres have won 2 of 3 so far. Game today's at 4. Wonderful. Reds Nationals, most electrifying man in sports. What makes this special, you might ask? Wilds, why do you keep on putting in home runs? First right-handed home run for Ellie De La Cruz. Unfortunately.
First one this year?
Yeah,
because he bats lefty.
No, I know. Usually.
And he went. That won the dunk contest a few years ago. Reds lose 6 in a row, 1.5 games back. Weird. Royals, Phillies. I know what you're thinking. This is going to be a Phillies highlight because you like to make fun of Kansas City.
This was a great play.
Yeah, no kidding. Hello. That's why I put it in. That's why I like the Royals.
You want to know something how bad my Royals are, Wilds?
How bad?
I was literally 150 meters from this game.
You were?
And didn't consider going. There's a great card.
You were in Kansas City?
No, it's in Philly.
Oh,
I was in Philly this weekend gambling. I'm like, the Royals are playing across the street. Not going to go.
Phillies wonderful. Dallas, Miami. Hey, fellas. Why don't you guard the greatest soccer player of all time? He's just wandering around in green space. Surprise, surprise, goal. Give me a break.
Everybody wants to say Messi scored on us, too. That's all it is.
Guys, he's wide open.
That's the Travis Kelce thing, man. It's not as easy as you think.
Yes, it is. It's called boxing one. I've seen it 1 trillion times. It's called put a spy on Messi. They also had a penalty kick. Miami to the League's Cup quarterfinal. They're winning games now. Weird. And we're going to talk about this one. Guardians, White Sox. Ramirez has a double, and then Tim Anderson drops the glove and has an awkward stance, and he ends up getting down.
Ouch.
Not great. After the game, Ramirez had this to say about Anderson. I'll give you a little context. I think Tim Anderson, has been disrespecting the game for a while. I even had the chance to tell him during the game, don't do that stuff. That's disrespectful. Don't start tagging people like that. Now, the previous game, he said it's not specifically about this, but this was a thing where we got a double, and then when Rocchio slides, Tim Anderson does this slick move here. He's like, yeah, I know you're safe, but how about now? How about if I just take my glove and move your hand? For some reason, the refs correctly called him safe, and then our replay was out. So there's a chance that the Guardians were also upset about that. May have started something. Now the suspensions are down. Tim Anderson got 6 games and got knocked out. Ramirez got 3 games. Brew, break it all down.
Well, I knew Tim Anderson was in trouble when he stumbled in his stance. When he was getting ready,
Brew
he stumbled.
Goes to one fight, baby.
I'm just saying. I will give Tim Anderson this. He looked good until he got hit.
Well,
all right, like he looked like he knew what he was doing. His blows looked like he knew what he was doing. And in fairness, Ramirez closed his eyes and threw a punch, and he connected, and it knocked him out. But the suspensions, I'm fine with. A lot of people might be thinking, Anderson should get less because he's the one that got clocked. But no, he started it, in my view. And Ramirez was just defending himself.
I disagree.
Anderson's tagging. He said he tagged him too hard. And Anderson was dying to fight. He wanted to fight. It was like, if you don't take off his gloves, it's like,
hold on a second.
It's just a regular baseball fight where we talk and we push and all that.
Yeah, of course.
He wanted to fight.
Okay, sure. And he gets the ignominy of being knocked out forever and then being wobble-legged, trying to get back to the dugout, all of it. But what started the fight is Jose Ramirez putting his finger on his forehead.
I don't think he touched him.
Did he touch him?
Show it again. I'm telling you right now.
He put his fist on his jaw. I don't know about his finger on his forehead.
I saw that too. But this thing escalated right there.
Oh, come on.
You disagree, Wilds?
100%.
What started it? Then what started it?
Oh, he's got a history of tagging people too hard.
Okay.
Well, that's what Ramirez said. He tagged him too hard.
The tag that we just saw before in the previous game, that's what he's complaining about? somebody trying to.
What started the fight?
When he slid into second base.
Can we see the slide?
Yeah. He's being stood over the top of. Ramirez gets up and he pokes him like, dude, get off me. Mm-hmm. He gets up, then he pokes him basically in the face. Yes, I want to box then.
Yeah, that's right.
I know Anderson.
He just ended up getting knocked out.
I just couldn't connect because he threw some good blows. He just couldn't connect.
His feet are literally up in front of him. Like he's just, the stance is all.
I like Tim Anderson. He was my preseason pick for MVP last year.
This is why, as athletes, we should stick with the sport that we professionally acclaim to be.
The Odd Couple. 10 Eastern, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah. All right. We're going to come back.
If you're here for
we talk a little baseball
analysis.
Receiving groups, wide receivers and tight ends. First were the Eagles, and second were the Bears. That's great. Third were the 49ers, so second the Bengals, I guess.
Yeah, 20 Bears. Hold on now.
Yeah. I thought that was strange. You know, I was surprised. 100%. That one shocked me. 18th were the Chiefs. Sandwich between the Broncos and the Saints. Give me a break. Do you have any issues, Nick?
Listen, I love Warren Sharp. His football analysis and his gambling expertise is honestly second to, I think mine is the only one in the world. Like, I think
my God. Who
great.
says second to mine?
He's being less humble.
What's
That
the
was
New Year's resolution? To be less humble. I'm sorry, second best in the world, if that's not a high enough compliment. But this is a miss from him and his people, if you ask me. Because to be clear, this is including the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Travis Kelce is as good and impactful as any pass catcher in the league. And if you want to say, no, Justin Jefferson's better, I'll disagree. But again, he is in the room with Jefferson and Chase, Devontae, all those guys. And then you have the actual receivers. Kadarius Toney is a game breaker. The Chiefs have spent back-to-back second-round picks on guys that fit what they're trying to do. The most recent of which we haven't seen yet, obviously. He's a rookie, Rashay Rice. Mm-hmm. The other, Sky Moore, one of your guys, came on strong in the final game of the year, which just happened to be the Super Bowl. And again, our producer Hubs doesn't like me. I keep sending him this guy's highlights, but Justin Ross, who was in the same high school class as Jamar Chase and a higher rated prospect than him, who as a kid who had just turned 19 years old in the college football playoff, had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, then dealt with a very scary spinal issue that kind of derailed his career. That's now taken care of. That he's healthy and dynamic. The idea that the Chiefs with Travis Kelce and these other guys are below average is an absurdity. It's an absurdity. It's just not true. So I like Warren. He does great work. Again, second best in the world, but come on, give me a break.
Yeah,
give me a break.
I'm with you. I support everything you just said. And I look at the question. Cause for concern? No. You got the greatest equalizer in Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, I'll move on from there and say they're just fine. It really doesn't matter. When you have a quarterback that is that good and an impact player that makes everyone's job easier in Travis Kelce, who, in my opinion, is he may be, outside of a quarterback, the most impactful offensive player in the game.
I totally
You can say what you want. I'm a receiver, and I love Jettis. I don't know if his impact is as great as Travis Kelce.
Correct. Yeah.
So for me, I'm looking at this list, and I even look at the Chargers. Like the Chargers at 10, really, with that stat, those receivers in that unit.
It's not a cause for concern because you got Patrick Mahomes, as you said. The thing is, other than Kelce, and those guys might prove to be great. If they're good receivers, they're unknowns.
That's fair.
That's why I think it's fair. And Kadarius is a bone breaker, not a game breaker. I mean, when he's healthy, he's a game breaker. But he gets hurt all the time. He's hurt now.
But you can't do that.
Bone breaker.
If you're basing it off of whether you're gonna have a guy in the lineup or not, that's not fair.
With him, though, it's like if we always say about Anthony Davis, if he's healthy. We don't say that about